A track called Earthworm here on Kiwi. Time now for 20 minutes away from 10.
Splash of trash.
Splashing the trash. It's Holly Wainwright from OK Magazine, okmagazine.com.au. Good morning, Holly.
Good morning, Wammo. How are you doing?
Very well, thank you. First up is Lindsay Lohan news.
Yes, well, Lindsay Lohan's never known for having a particularly stable relationship with her family, dad in particular, but this week he may have outdone himself. He loves to speak to the press about whatever's going on in Lindsay's life, even if he doesn't seem to know much about it because they don't see each other very often. But this week he's been out saying how he's convinced that she's addicted to prescription pills and that he would like to kidnap her and throw her in the back of a car and take her somewhere and straighten her out. Now, unsurprisingly, considering their relationship, Lindsay's not very happy with this comment and is apparently seeking legal advice to get a restraining order against her dad, which isn't stopping him from saying that he says if they try and do that, meaning Lindsay and her mum, I'm going to come out and play all the tapes that I've made of conversations I've had with them and show the world what they're really like. And poor old Lindsay, it's not really surprising that she's quite such a wreck at the moment.
So that sounded like a real smart thing to do. So you come out publicly and say that you want to do something highly illegal, that is kidnap someone else and bundle them in the back of a car, quite specifically. So if it did happen, the police wouldn't have to look far.
Exactly. Now he's on his way. Now Michael Lohan, her dad, is going to LA to try and seek a conservatorship over Lindsay, which is what Britney Spears' dad did for her when she was having that meltdown last year, which put him in charge of all her finances and everything, which is only something you can imagine that Lindsay would be horrified to happen to her. So yes, but somehow I don't think that the courts are going to think that Michael Lohan and his kidnapping suggestions make him a particularly fit conservator.
Well, on to Whitney Houston. Her big comeback has gone off the rails.
Well, someone else who has publicly struggled with drugs is Whitney. She's on her way back, of course, from a very public drug addiction that she's spoken very openly about. And she's been in Britain the last few days, and she made an appearance on the X Factor, which is a huge reality, a talent show there. Robbie Williams did the same thing. And in fact, just like Robbie Williams, Whitney Houston her appearance was rather shambolic, shall we say. She stumbled over her words, she fluffed the interview, she said some rather rude things to Simon Cowell, and she generally didn't appear to be quite as in control of herself as perhaps she has said that she is at this point. So a lot of people are whispering about, is Whitney really ready for this big comeback, which apparently has been mostly masterminded by Clive Davis, who's her mentor. So it'll be interesting to see what happens next, because obviously after her big Oprah tell-all where she came clean about having years of crack abuse and how her mum had to come to her house with a shotgun to get her into rehab and all this stuff, one hopes that obviously Whitney's all right, but she's looking a bit shaky. Yeah,
and finally, Roman Polanski, we've talked about him in past weeks, but he's had his bid for freedom denied.
He has. He and his lawyers have been trying everything to get him out of jail, which is where he is in Switzerland at the moment. He has put his Swiss house up for collateral against fleeing. He's elected to go under house arrest instead. He's taken various tacks with the legal system over there, but they've all said no. Unsurprisingly, they view him as a very strong flight risk, considering he's been on the run from America for the last almost 30 years. Yep. And they're not going to let him go. The latest star to come out in his support is Ewan McGregor, who is the star of the movie that Roman Polanski's been making over the past few years, which is called The Ghost. He's come out and said that he's very upset about Roman's situation. He hates to think of him in jail. He thinks he's a genuine genius, and he doesn't understand why the Swiss officials have done this. He says that he himself has visited Roman at his house in Switzerland over the years, and it's all very strange. And
haven't the Hollywood stars who have come out in support of Roman, haven't they been, their reputation been a little bit tarnished by all this as well?
Well, I think they have a little bit, but as we were saying the other day, a lot of the people who have come out in support of him, they're not a lot of high-profile acting stars. There's lots of directors and producers and people, very big, powerful people. In some ways, it's not really surprising that they would be supporting Roman Polanski. I think that a lot of actors and people who very much rely on public opinion for their living are a little bit more a little bit more tentative with their support. Let's put it that way.
Right.
But yes, it doesn't look like the Swiss are going to give up on Roman. It looks like they're going to keep him there. And he's been to hospital twice in the past week too. He's currently suffering from depression and not doing very well at all. So
no doubt.
sad and sorry situation.
But isn't the end game to get him back to the States?
Yes, exactly. That's what he's fighting extradition. The idea is that he's staying in detention in Switzerland to be extradited to the US, and that's what he's fighting. So, he's asked to be let out on bail while all that legal wrangling to get him back to the States goes through. You can only imagine that if they are successful in extraditing him, the media circus he's going to face when he arrives back in LA in handcuffs.
So it's kind of an interesting situation because he doesn't want to be in jail, but at the same time he doesn't want to be sent back to the States. So at the moment, while he's in limbo, it's kind of the best place to be.
Well, in some ways, exactly. But I think that he obviously has very good lawyers, and they're trying to fight this extradition order, and I guess that he doesn't want to be sitting in this jail while that's happening. He doesn't see why he can't be sitting in his Swiss chalet while that's happening. And
on his rocket ship.
Yes.
Heading somewhere else.
Exactly.
Hey, thanks, Holly. You're off for 2 weeks. Enjoy your break in the UK.
Thank you. Yes, it'll be a bit chilly, but it'll be fun.
That's the UK, of course, the home of tabloid journalism.
Exactly. I'm going to, just fill up on my, just get a top up on my skills while I'm there.
Awesome. Well, we'll catch you when you get back.
Yes. See you, Wammo.
See ya. Holly Wainwright from OK Magazine. Those stories you'll find in the magazine coming out next week, and also, of course, online as well. okmagazine.com.au. Here is Haunted Love. This is called